What you gonna do when God start checking your temperature? Financial loophole, then he say, I don't mess with you. But when you find your Christian rapper turn secular, or when you find your favorite pastor's a predator, hey, see, there's a reason, man, he tells us they set apart. If you can't feel it, boy, just stop, you should never start. And they don't really don't know what endurance is. And they don't really know what true perseverance is. Hey, I wash my hands in this holy water. I know you see they trust my homie for manslaughter. Lord, please have mercy, you know all that I am, Father. I hope I get to beat it over my granddaughter, yeah. Hey, let me set it off and do for Penelope. Only through Christ I leave my family legacy.
Legacy, yes, baby, yes. Legacy is what you want to leave. Thank you for tuning in this Friday night to Set Yourself Apart. Episode number 3. Number 3, man. Breaking generational curses, man. Let me tell you. First of all, I just want to just start off just giving y'all, hey, man, thanks for tuning in tonight. The music in the background, mind y'all, hey, man, I have no ownership of those rights to that music, man. I love music, man. And so enjoy, you know, but thanks for tuning in tonight, man. We want to embark on your Friday night, Rick. We want to just interrupt their night first thing before they go off, man, tonight. Because you know why? After we close this broadcast, y'all go back to normal life. Some's going to go party. Some's going to stay and reflect on what we said. Man, let's just see what goes on, man. And so tonight, we got a special, man. We don't want to disappoint you guys tonight. And so me and Rick are actually going to do something different. We're going to do like a dialogue. We're going to talk to one another about some things. And I know y'all seen the prop up out there. All the hype that we've been putting out there, man, like, praise God, man. Thank you, Jesus, man. Like, we embarked on that new program, and now we're making thumbnails. Like, the video, man. Did you see the video, man? Like, come on, man. Like that, oh, man, it excites me. Like, we stayed up last night to what? After midnight sometime?
Almost 1 o'clock.
Yeah. Just taking care of business, man. I remember you probably caught me here saying that one of 50 Cent's quote one of his quotes is sleep is for poor folks. Sleep is for poor folks. And so when they asked him that, they said, well, when do you sleep? He said, I sleep when my eyes close, but it's hardly regular. I'll be up for 2 or 3 days. And so he was just putting in work. He was just grinding. And so I tell you, what we actually want to talk about tonight, son, is how we got up to our point right now. Like in 2017, we were hit with Hurricane Harvey. And Hurricane Harvey literally pushed us all the way up here. And so I know the topic tonight is breaking generational curses, but as we're going into this thing, as we're going into it, tell me how do you feel about what, like, hindrances? Generational curse is a hindrance, right? And it travels from lineage, from grandfather, you know, dad's dad, mom, and all this here stuff, and it comes down to you now. When did you realize, like, hey, man, why keep messing with this thing? Like I say, for one, is and we're gonna hit it right off the back. Anger, anger, and so anger has, taken toll in within our relationship also. To the point where it almost got physical there. And mind you, guys, you might see us on social media, and we might look like we have a perfect relationship. But let me tell you, let them know, really, like, let them know, like, in the background, in the back scenes, it's where the grind is, where the work is at, like that mental challenge, man, the mental challenge, because the you hear stories out there, sons and fathers fighting, mothers and daughters fighting, and we have literally built a relationship to where it's gotten heated, Rick. It's gotten heated. But anger, anger is something that we have to deal with within the generational curses that we have to deal with. Yes. And so uh, let's just start when we were pushed out from Hurricane Harvey, and we had no place to stay. We came in two cars. Like, tell you a little bit of what you experienced.
Yeah, like you said, when we came for Hurricane Harvey, it was actually a pretty crazy situation. Um, we left 3 days in the truck, trying to look for a way out. We're country boys, so we hit all the back roads. We can go this cut off, that cut off, and everywhere we go, it was just a dead end.
Yeah.
And we went out for 3 days, and then finally on the third day, we had found one of the back roads, and we're like, maybe we can get out of here. So we had to leave our truck. We brought two cars, a SUV and a Ford Focus, and we hit the road, and we had to go from Texas all the way into Louisiana, all the way up to Shreveport, then eventually make it here to Dallas. But man, it was crazy. We stayed a night with our cousins in Louisiana. Thankful for them. Gabriel and them.
Gabriel.
They let us stay a night at their house and take a shower. Just a place where we can relax. And the next day we had to hit the road again. Because we still didn't have nowhere to go. We were riding with no destination. We left knowing that our trailers were being we already had wind damage. The water was getting in them. The shed was getting ripped apart. So like we didn't know what we were gonna come back to. So
Right.
we eventually got to East Texas, stayed with some good another good friend there in East Texas. Stayed there for the night. They gave us another shower.
Patrick Whittington, shout out to you and your family, bro.
And then we ended up out here in Dallas with mom's sister, and that's where we had to make a choice because Dad, he wanted to go to San Antonio. You remember you were trying to go, and you gave us the option. I was like, man, I've always wanted to live in Dallas. Like, that's one of my childhood dreams. I was like, man, we're right here by the Cowboy Stadium. I was like, man, I don't want to go to San Antonio, man. I feel like if we would have went to San Antonio, we would have stayed on the same path, and we would have ended up in a worse situation. So by no means did it get easier once we got to Texas. I mean, up here in Dallas either, because as soon as we got here, I got a job. I started working within the first week, at an apartment complex, and I was just working, man. Just they seen that I was working through the temp service, so I had to work 3 weeks before I got hired on, and I had just got hired on, and we get a phone call, and I'm over there working, and we get a phone call saying that all of our stuff's on the side of the road, that we got to find a place to stay. So at that point, I had a decision to make, what are we going to do? Are we going to run back to where we came from, where we knew, there was nothing for us down there anymore? We already got a taste of what up here was like. So I just had to, set myself apart, set myself aside, and I went to my boss man, the head maintenance, and I told him like, hey Mike, like we just got kicked out, you know, like y'all said y'all like me, I just got hired on. I know it takes 3 months, but I've been here a month, and y'all like I say y'all like me. I was like, we just got kicked out, so if I don't have a place to stay by Monday, then like I'm gonna be headed back to Houston this weekend.
Before we go too far, you gotta stop. So there you go. We left from southeast Texas into Louisiana, just wondering how we were gonna get where we needed to get to, where we were gonna sleep. Like you were fixing to get paid. We had little money. We had little gas, nowhere to stay. We move up here. We shacked up with the in-laws. We get kicked out. You know, let's just call it what it is. You know, we overstayed our welcome. That happens. But let me just say this. Has anybody tuned in? Oh, come on now, Lissa. Shout out to Warden County. We'll get back to that. It's about to get good. What's up, girlfriend? Thanks for tuning in tonight. Lissa. First Lady Tiffany. She says, what's up, Lissa? Hey. Thanks for tuning in. Where's Robert at? Where's Robert? Hey, man. Y'all supposed to be shouting out to us, commenting with us, man. I'm still waiting for Mom and Dad. Mom and Dad, y'all out there? Say what's up. They're over there. We over here podcasting, but they're over there talking to each other. Look at that. Yes. Yeah, thanks for tuning in tonight, guys. And so as we were building this flyer that went out this morning, sometime around lunchtime, before lunchtime, I put some up there because we're going to talk about two things right now. It's about speaking life and speaking love. And so, first of all, I don't know about you, Rick, but I was scared. 3 days, we were trailing through, the door open, the water's up to here. At times, almost getting stranded in the flood. 3 days later, we leave. We left fur babies. 3 dogs, a donkey. Conrad. But we took off, man. And I remember having to shoot all the way into Lake Charles and then shooting up to Cousin Gabriel's house. But the whole time, what we were doing, we were actually praying to God, man. We were speaking life because if you can recall, one of my favorite scriptures, write this down. Like write this scripture down because it's a powerful scripture. Proverbs 18:21 says that life and death come out the tongue. Life and death come out the tongue. And so we were already in a dire situation. I remember when that second day that we went out and we couldn't find a way out. I remember coming back, and I don't know if you remember, but I said, we got to try to find the tallest trees. We got to get some rope, some tie downs. Like, who you going to hold? Because Rooster, my grandson, was just born like 2 weeks prior to us going through this Hurricane Harvey. And so that draws up some scarcity. Hey, chill out, man. Y'all being disrespectful. Behave. Pups. Mama pup. Mama just as puppy as the puppies. But as we're coming up north to in Louisiana, go to Cousin Gabriel, we were still like, man, I'm kind of shaking right now because I remember I remember it, you know, not knowing what we were going to come back to, we were going to be able to come back, how much damage, you know, the dogs we left over there, the donkey, my truck, we left the vehicle over there, all the tools, several toolboxes full of tools, like, and the whole time choosing to be on the positive side, Rick. Because you know, when you go through something like that, a hurricane or tornado, you know, it draws up some emotions that people just get paralyzed and hit the ground and just ball out. They don't know what to do. I'm over here shaking, man. Woo! They get into those circumstances and situations, son, that they can't seem to pull themselves out of. And it's when they hunkered themselves down like that, time is passing by. The water was coming in. Guess what? If us men would have hunkered down to our knees like that and just bawled out, oh, what we gonna do? What we gonna do? The water was coming in. And so the whole time, just because the Lord has taught us that love never fails, and we were riding on that love part of faith and love, man, because we didn't really know what was gonna happen, man. We didn't really know what was gonna happen, and so I can say, you know, automatically when we got into that situation, one curse was broken, a hindrance, because we were speaking life, we were being positive, we was never ever getting into the negative. We were calling people, we were getting no's left and right. Hey, can we stay tonight at your house? No, we can't. We got something to do. You know, people were unexpected. You know, bombarded from us. You know, we even have a really good friend, and she was one of the ones that said no. And just straight love. We didn't fight, we didn't argue. It's like we just stood up to the challenge, and what's next? What's next? To set ourselves apart in such a way that that trouble hit, that we didn't get in no discouragement. The only thing that was compromised was our homestead, but everything else still stayed together. Still stayed together. And so, listen up, guys. Listen up. These times right now that we're in, this pandemic, it's still uneasy. It's abnormal. Will it ever go back to normalcy? Probably not. Polo was around, knocked a lot of people out. It's still around. Bird flu, swine flu, that stuff's still around. So I would imagine that COVID and its 25 strands of viruses, you know, when is it ever gonna stop? Never. And so, but we cannot make those negative circumstances, such as the COVID in these days, to go untouched by prayer, Rick, right now. And that's something that I've tried to embark on this family. Ordenamos, we be praying. We praying all the time, bro. And I try to hit a specific time where we're connecting with the heart of the Father. You know, for every day, I do it more than anybody here, and which that's okay, because you know you're young, Rick. But guess what? You're doing those uncommon things that people at your age aren't willing to be uncommon about. They want to be common just like the rest of the folks. I could go off on that. Being uncommon and stop being so common such as the world. Be uncommon. Do things. Allow things to happen so you can dream. Like, I could just go off with on that one. I could go off on that one, but we're talking about breaking generational curses and anger. And so the time that we got pushed out and we were back out on the road again, how did you set yourself apart, Rick? Because you couldn't not no longer worry about me, mama, and sister. You had to worry about you and your family.
So, like I said, I was already working for about a good month already, and so Mike, he ended up saying, well, let me go talk to Cindy. And now Cindy, you remember Cindy, me and her, we didn't get along at all. But as long as like Mike had my back, like I really didn't have nothing to worry about. So then at the end of the day on Friday, because I was still with this happened like on a Wednesday, and so by Friday, Dad came to me and they were like, we got an apartment for you, but you just gotta stay for the weekend and get it ready yourself. And I was like, all right, bet. So that weekend, I stayed there like all day. We moved in all the stuff Saturday. I finished painting whatever I had to do, and by Monday we were already like moved in. So like I had to go out there with a leap of faith and put my faith in God and being like, hey, like if we're supposed to be out here, like you're gonna make it happen. And He made it happen because
Did y'all hear that?
I got a discount on my apartment and everything, and like it just all worked so smoothly. Like a few weeks later, y'all ended up getting an apartment and everything too, and like everything had ended up working out. But like you said, when we were just a month, 2 months ago, prior to this, we were in full blown survival mode because we rode hurricanes out before. Like, oh, it's just a little hurricane, you know. And so like we stocked up on firewood, the barbecue supply stuff that we knew. Like if we lose power, that's okay as long as we have running water, we'll be fine.
Boom, surviving, baby.
So we're out there. Remember, we were cooking breakfast, lunch, and dinner on the barbecue.
On the barbecue pit.
I wish we could have pulled those pictures up.
Yeah, but we'll get better at it.
Yeah. But yeah, like you said, about like the third or fourth day, like the whole city was going under the water watch because the water was contaminated because all the flooding that was going on. So we couldn't even use our water. We were having to boil water just to take a bath, brush our teeth, and that was just like 2 months prior to like moving up here. Like probably not even 2 months, you know. And like you said, like there was plenty of times for us to get angry. We could have got angry at ourselves when we chose to stay in Orange and not evacuate when everybody else evacuated. We could have got mad at people that denied us and told us no, like you cannot stay with us. We could have got mad when we got kicked out, which we did. We got hurt because it was totally unexpected. But you know, like life goes on. You know, like
that brings to my point, Rick. If I could just bring this in right now, because it's a perfect time. Along with this thing, we have been talking for a number of years about eagles and chickens, bro. Right. Eagles and chickens, and so as like there was a point in time where I was teaching y'all the chicken way. Eagles having the mentality, the mindset of eagles. Ava, what's up, niece? What's up, Ava? Thanks for joining in tonight, Ava girl, man. We love you, man. Oh man, you just thank you, Ava. And so check this out, Ava, man. Let me put this little ticket right quick if I can. I have been telling my kids, man, to do eagle things. You remember the old story I used to tell about the crabs in the bucket. You got a bucket full of crabs. They're all trying to get out, but the next one keeps pulling them down. And so I only taught that analogy for just a little bit of time because That was of the old, man. The old crabs in the bucket mentality, that's done with. That's done with. And so we started teaching y'all to go to eaglet school, if I can say. Eaglets, and then we got grand eaglets over there, grandbabies. But one thing that I know that an eagle does is that he soars, that eagle soars, Rick, at high altitudes. And what is one of my catchphrases that I love so much about altitudes? Change your altitude, change your attitude, you change your altitude. And so just like the eagle, those times that we got pushed out and you had to go and get your own apartment, you only had to think about you. You had to separate yourself in such a way that it was a little upsetting because we have been traveling together all these years, and then especially in this time that we got pushed out by Hurricane Harvey. And so eagles fly alone. Eagles fly alone, and they fly at very, very, very high altitudes. And so at the time, there was negative influence where we were at. And so when we say eagles fly alone and at high altitudes, we basically want to tell the people that we stayed away from negative, narrow-minded, small-thinking people, bro. Like I know that's some tough words, narrow-minded, small thinking, but come on, man. I only have one son. I only have one daughter. Like if I lose these, I don't get no replacements. They mine. And so, Rick, I kind of push y'all up there in school and all sorts of things, even to the point that this week, son, we had an instance, a circumstance arise, man. Some flack, some negative, disrespectful, and so I wowed out, bro. Like I wowed out because it shocked me. Look, none of my nieces, none of my nephews, none of them ever disrespected me. Ever. Ava Theater says hi, look at it. So it happened, bro. And I didn't know how to take it, son, because like I say, I teach y'all at a level that you respect me kindly, that literally, guys, this guy does not cuss around daddy. You know, what happened was a 15-year-old family member of mine cussed me from top to bottom, left to right, called me every name in the book except my name. Literally threw dirt on me. But guess what I learned? Guess what I learned about dirt? Dirt makes things grow. The deeper you are rooted, the more dirt you need, the more fertilizer you need, Rick. And so now I look at dirt different now. Like they can throw all the dirt they want to, man. They can throw all the dirt. Like, matter of fact, throw some manure in there, man, because it's gonna help me grow. It's like miracle growth. And so, number one, eagle flies high and alone. High and alone. Stay away from those narrow-minded people. That's what we've taught. Right. And so you know that there's a lot of, especially right now where we're at, because guess what? we was called brainwash. Yeah, I literally brainwashed. That's what one of the commenting statements was, that I literally brainwashed my family. Like I just didn't know how to take it, Rick. And so it packed like he was actually jabbing me, dog. Pop, pop, pop. And I wilded out. At that time, I'm not gonna lie, I turned into a chicken. Cause I didn't go up, man. I sure did not go up, bro. I sure did not go up. Because check this out. Another thing that a characteristic of an eagle is that they get excited when storms come. Did you know that?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. And so they say when the eagles, they see the storm coming, when the clouds gather and the wind starts blowing, instead of going into the trees, get this, the eagle, instead of going down and covering in the tree bushes and everything, the eagle catches the wind of the thunderstorm of the storm and sends it above the clouds. So now this guy is, first of all, the eagle hangs way up high on the cliffside. You can go and Google it. They stay in trees hanging off of cliffs, or they on the cliffside on the rocks. You know, that's where they stay in high mountains. But when the storm comes, they use the storm. They get so excited. It like gives them strength to push up through the storm and above the storm. And so, Rick, I can literally say, bro, instead of us wrecking shop, because they had a lot to say when they kicked us out. There was a lot to be said. And I remember, Rick, we was like, you said that, like, that's enough, bro. Like, when is it gonna stop? Because that boy, he called us out. She called us out. It took so much, Rick, you and I, to stay away and not even touch the narrow-mindedness of the situation that was going on.
Yeah. I think it's just because of the lesson we had just learned, because like just like going back to like when we were in Angleton, that's when we started talking about speaking things into existence. Speak life into the situation at all times, because your mouth can get you in trouble, but it can also lead you to the promised land. Also, you gotta watch what you say. So we were always saying, man, we want land, man, we want a pond, we want this and that,
Yeah.
And when we had moved from Angleton to Orange, what did we get? We got 9.5 acres. We got 2 trailers. Yeah. We had access to a 3.5 acre pond. Like all these things that we were speaking into existence, we got.
Right.
Like it didn't happen overnight, of course, because we had to go through the process, and we still eventually got it. So when the hurricane came, we had lost everything.
Yeah.
So when we had came up here, we already were starting over. Mm-hmm. So when we had got kicked out, it was nothing new to us, because we already had just lost everything once. Yeah. It just motivated us like that much more to go and get what we got now. Yeah. Because I really thank them for kicking us out that day, because it put us on a path to get to where we are now.
Yes.
Because like stuff like that, it lights a fire under you,
Oh, yeah.
And like the ones that you think won't do it to you, they're the ones that be the first to do it to you. Yeah. And it's really sad, but you got to keep on trucking.
Right.
Always look at the positive side. That's like what we always done. And,
right.
Speak life into the situation, and we just stayed close. We knew we had each other's back. Like we've always had each other's back, so we knew we can lean on each other when we had needed it.
Right.
So like, and of course, like there was times like where like anger came up. Like there's a lot of things. Where, like a curveball, like you said too. Like they were literally calling us out of our name, and like they knew where we lived. Like we weren't about to stoop down to their level and lose everything what we had just got. Like why are we gonna put ourselves in a position to lose it all a third time? You know what I mean? Like so you just gotta push those people to the side for a little bit, and like if you reunite in the future, then you reunite, but you just gotta do what's right for you.
Right. There's something I always had told you too, son, about fighting, because I believe somebody's out there listening, joined in tonight or at a later time that about fighting, because bro, where I came from where men raised me up to use these things. And so when you had a situation, you throw knuckles, you hug, dap, shake hands, go about your business. But nowadays, there's no fighting. But what's the one rule of thumb, son, that I have always taught y'all guys to lean on? Finding the fight, and the fight finding you.
Yeah, the fight's always gonna come to you, and like, you know, like there's been plenty of times too, like here recent, like last Valentine's Day, some Iranian guy, he tried to test me, and I literally had to walk away from the dude because what was I gonna get from, you know, it was just, you know, one of them curveballs that just got thrown at you, and like you have a choice right there and then to like knock this dude out and then deal with everything that's gonna come, or just walk away. Like most of the time, it's better to walk away. But, man. Like I'm not saying like if somebody comes and slap you to like just
give
like
the cheek.
Yeah, but
we're like, supposed to, you know, right. The Bible says.
Yeah, you're supposed to, but like
man, times change, man.
It just comes to a point where like, why are you gonna stoop down to somebody's level? Like, like you said, like we're already flying high. Like why are we gonna come down? The only time we come down is to scoop up our first kill, because an eagle never eats old food.
Dead things.
Yeah.
Dead things. And so I'm telling you guys, look, like literally these things can help you out. Like we're knocking out curses that hindered us through our life, you know, such as anger and fighting being as one. Like I'm always good. I'm always ready for a good fight. And I'm always challenged, man. Like when I was back in the day and your age, I was looking for the fights. I would literally look for the fights. Me and Dad, we go out. I ain't gonna lie, we was looking for a fight, you know. And so you kind of grew up with that too, and you had the same mentality too. But then I had learned something about that. It's like, look, don't be chasing the fights. Why? Because look, Ava, check it out. The fight is always going to come and look for you. There's always going to be somebody, someone, somewhere, somehow going to want to pick a fight with you. And at that time, Ava, we have to mount up on wings of eagles and soar like, what do you mean, Uncle Rick? You want me to run away? Look, baby girl, let me tell you, your pretty face has to stay pretty. I know you won't get beat up, but you don't want to scar like Uncle Rick, okay? And so at that moment, I have taught, you know, these eaglets of mine, look, man, just walk away from the fight. Like literally, Rick, that guy that was testing you that day, you're like this tall, he's this tall. You're like this big, and he's like this big. I mean, I would imagine once or twice, like, pop, pop. He's gone. And then here comes the cops.
It's Valentine's Day.
And, you know, you have license to carry and all these things, you know, and actually, people don't know that when you start carrying, you have to go ahead and fly with the eagles, because you're gonna get in trouble hanging around with all the doves and the you know, the hens and chickens and roosters and all that stuff. And so literally, I have taught these guys, look, we're speaking truth. That comes to the next slide that I have put on that flyer, but speak the truth, Rick. I have tried to base our family off of truth. Like everybody tells lies, everybody tells white lies, you know. But I don't never try to veer from the truth. We have literally built this family on truth, and because we were only growing up in lies, we were doing as the world. Like, we're out there partying too. You're 23, fixing to be 23 years old, and at my age, 23, I was out there bar hopping and club hopping, you know. But you choose not to. Like, that ego mentality, bro. The breaking the generational curses and building generational wealth. Generational wealth. When people hear that, Rick, they too good, man. They over there living high on the hog. They're driving the Mercedes, and you know what, man? We don't give glory to none of that stuff, because look, we deserve it, Rick. What we went through, what we have gone through, what we have grinded so hard for, what we have worked so hard for. We're so loud, Rick, that we're having people telling other people that me and son aren't working. That we aren't working. Get that. Narrow-minded people. They want us to be working a doggone 40, 50, 60-hour week, clocking in at 6:30 and getting home at 10:30. I'm sorry, guys, but Rick, I don't teach y'all guys that. Like, go ahead and go work the 40, 40, 40, but use some of that money. Don't spend all your money. Let's speak the truth. Let's speak the truth. Like, if I can just have Rick's permission, just give them, how are you investing your money? Just tell them the one thing. Just don't tell them numbers. Just tell them what you're doing. Right? The trade deal.
Oh man.
It takes money to make money.
It takes money to make money, and your money should work for you. You should never work for your money.
Come on, man.
It's really as simple as that. Like, a lot of people look into Bitcoin and stuff like that. I suggest y'all to really look into it, because that's where the world is going to. You know, Bitcoin is worth more than the top 3 banks in the world. Just Bitcoin. That's how, like, the top 3 banks in the world are not even worth Bitcoin as much as Bitcoin. All right, so like, y'all should be trading. I'm just gonna say that. Invest your money in dogs. You know, it's not a pet. It's a pet, but it's more than just a pet. Like, yes, Grace and Ice and Paco, they're family members, but it's more than that. It's like you make your money work for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, you still gotta, when you have a litter, you gotta stay up numerous hours and countless hours and feed the puppies and wipe the mom off. And there's a lot of money and time that goes into it, but you know, like, the reward is worth it. Like, a lot of people, like, I mean, I don't knock people out there working 40, 60 hours a week, because you know, like, to be honest, I need y'all, because I need people to work for me. You know what I mean? Like, I can't be sitting here at home without people working for me. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like so, like, yes, we still need y'all, but y'all should be looking at it like, oh, like, they're at home just doing nothing. No, we're doing more than that, and we get to spend time with our kids. We get to spend time with our family.
Come on, man.
Like, we're literally here.
Come on.
Like, we can take a trip whenever we want to. Like, when we're fixing to move out of state, like, that's another upcoming thing that we got, like, coming up. Like, and it's all because of the investments that we have made. Yeah. And we couldn't have done it without God either, because, you know, just like we lost everything before, like, you've heard me say it in the past, we lost $100,000 this year.
This year, at the beginning of the year.
You don't hear us whining and complaining about that. Like, we could be complaining about that. Like, we got stuff like that to worry about. We don't got to worry about these people over here talking about this and that, and oh, you want to be doing this and you want to be doing that. Like,
$100,000, man.
We got the same 24 hours in the day. Like, just because you choose to do yours your way and I do mine my way. Like, why are you getting mad? Because you chose that life. Like, you choose what you get up and do every day. Like, it's up to you. Like, why are you gonna get mad at me for your choices? Like, I don't understand that.
And there again, breaking generational curses. breaking generational curses, son, because my parents, they made good money, and we did what we could with what they had. And so, but I just have to say, just the one generational curse that was in our lineage was partying, man. We get that check at the end of the week or at the end of 2 weeks, and we already know we're gonna go to Club Tejano, or we're gonna go to the mariachi bar, extra innings. Come on now. I've been over there in Wharton County. The Bayou Club, what's up? Southeast Texas, what's up? You know, all clicks, you know, all these places out here, you know. We already hatching our eggs. I tell my son, don't hatch your egg before don't count your eggs before, how's it go?
Don't count your eggs.
You're hatching your eggs before you count them. And so that's why too we're doing it on a Friday night, Rick, because we really want to get into y'all's pockets, like put my hand in y'all's pockets, like don't pull that money out, don't pull that money out, you know, because there's more to life than working, busting y'all's knuckles and staying away from y'all's husbands and wives and kids and pets and home, and you know, fishing at the lake and taking a trip here once a month over there, and you know, it takes time away from those things. And the generational curse that I have taught these kids to break, like, look, we're not perfect. We don't say we don't drink and stuff. Like, that's not us. That's not us, not one bit. Like, every once in a while, we need a stiff drink. Life gets hard. It's stressful out there. The word of God says, come on, don't let me go to the word of God. It says to obey the laws of the land. And so drinking is of the law. We can drink. It's those people out there, those haters that are drinking haterade, think that because they heard the word hypocrite. But can I just speak right quick, son? Because evidently people have not been taught the story of Noah. Come on. Can I speak wisdom here? One of my little slides will speak wisdom and speak health and wealth. And we're about to cover those things right now. Like, really. Noah's Ark. In Genesis, the first chapter of the Bible, God used a man named Noah to build a Noah's Ark. Go read it, chapter 8 and 9, okay? In chapter 9, about the 20th verse, when the boat came down from the flood being, the earth being flooded out with water, the boat came down to rest. Everybody gets out, all the 2x2 animals, Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, 3 daughter-in-laws, they all come out the boat. Guess what the Bible says? That Noah, he scouted the land and found some fields and built a vineyard, son. Built a vineyard, grapes. Guess what? He said, I'm gonna make some alcohol. I'm gonna make some wine out of some grapes. Go over there. I bet nobody ain't never heard this story. I'm not lying. Go and fact check me. God, my witness. Like, hey, I know this guy right here just did it. Yes, I did. Noah, my brother who built Noah's Ark, son, got drunk. He got so doggone drunk. We call it white boy wasted, white girl wasted, that he was laid out naked in front of the public. The Bible says so. Go and read it yourselves. And then after he woke up the next day, I think he was like, oh man, what? Oh man, there was a whole bunch of people here last night. And the message is in that is that, look, after that happened, the Bible says, God says that he used Noah for 350 more years. It did not never say that he had another episode that he was drunk and he was found naked. No, why? Because he wised up. He wised up and said, man, I can't be getting that sloppy drunk, Rick. I can't be getting that sloppy drunk because when I get drunk, I like to take my clothes off. And wherever I'm at, that's where I'm going to lay my head at. And guess what? He's shaped up. Too many people out there in the world today, son, they go to church and they saying, God ain't going to use you because you were drunk. Let me tell you what I always say. God, if Jesus was here walking the ground right now, he would not be over there in Highland Parks. He would not be in the rich part of the Wharton County over there or El Campo, Wharton. He wouldn't be in the rich parts. He wouldn't be in those so-called perfect people places and stuff. No, he'll be over there at the dispensaries in Denver, Colorado, telling y'all, hey, my daddy is the creator. If you're using that for anxiety or for chronic pain or something, why won't you try me out? But look, when they do try him out and it doesn't work for them, Jesus doesn't say, oh, put him to the wayside. I don't like him no more. No, if that person continues on and does it everything legal, Rick, like people really got to read the Bible, man. I'm telling you, there is so much wisdom and understanding in there that drunk people are not even coming to the church house anymore. The church house, Rick. And the Bible specifically declares that God loves the cry of a drunken man. Go look for it. Google what I said, and then it's going to tell you where to go to in the Bible. Go find it. I said it. I'll mark I said it. It's in there. It's in there. The problem is that we spend too much time all drunk, stoned. We're all just spending a whole bunch of time on that and not enough time with God and not enough time with your family, but you're spending all the time over there at work. And we're trying to get y'all to understand, hey, let's have the mentality of the eagle. Let's soar to high places. Let's catch a different altitude so we can change our attitude. And when we change our attitude, we'll change our altitude. Do not let me tell you, Rick, look, just the whole time too, I've been thinking, I said, look, I just want to have a better version of myself. Have you ever thought about that?
Yeah.
Like messing up yesterday, but I know what I did yesterday that caused me so much pain and suffering that today I won't make that mistake.
Yeah, I take it back, just go back to the wisdom part for a second. You know, like as you get older, you're supposed to get wiser, you know.
Oh, Momo's in there. Sorry.
Hey, Momo.
What's up, Momo? Popo, I know y'all watching, man. Thanks for tuning in.
As you get older, you're supposed to get wiser. And, you know me, like I've always been a more mature person, more mature kid than my age group. I was always hanging around the adults. I always wanted to be around the adults. I was always with y'all. Even like, yeah, I'll go tell my cousins, but I was in a lot of grown folks conversations I probably shouldn't have been in, you know. So like, as you get older, like you take that with you and like you move a certain way because like, you know, like you done learn from other people's mistakes, you know, like
yes.
You use their mistakes so you wouldn't have to go through that.
Right.
So you keep on doing that like throughout life, and it gets to a point where like you take your old life and what you're doing in your old life and you bring it to your new life and you turn it legit, you know, like you think like the bigger picture and
right.
You start hanging around with people that you want to be like, you
yes.
know,
yes.
Because you can look at your circle, they say like look at your 5 closest friends and that's how you're going to be in the next 5 years.
Right.
So I looked at my friends and quite frankly, they weren't going nowhere. Like they were going to jail.
They were making money.
They were making money, but they were going to jail. Yeah. Some of them, you know, like they got shot, they got whatever happened to them, you know. So I was like, man, like that's not a life I want to show my kids, you know, right. Like. So I had to like switch the game up, you know, especially when we got out here and we started going to seminars. Like we started hanging around the rich crowd, the white folks, where everybody likes to In our family, we're referred as the white folks.
The white folks. We the white folks.
Yeah. So we started hanging around those type of people, and ever since we've been up here almost 4 years, you can see the growth that's happened. You can see the wealth that we've occurred since we've been here. It's just like using that wisdom that you learned over time, and like I said, I've always really been ahead of like people my age. So like all the partying and stuff, I mean, we've all been to parties, you know, like even in your teenage years, we've been to parties, you know.
Just don't make it important.
Yeah, and then as I was growing up, we were always going to quinceañeras, weddings. We were at dances, and anytime there was a dance, we were there.
Right.
So like I was already like living that life at a young age, even though I wasn't doing everything the adults were doing. I was still like in that life. So like now, like I just got a different view of life. I feel like just like everything that I've learned, I've seen people's mistakes, and I'm using those like to my advantage, and like.
And so we expressed about the eagles too. One of the characteristics of eagles that we've been taught about is that eagles never eat dead things, and so by that sense, meaning that we don't never go back into the past. Whatever is dead is dead. And so those habits and stuff that we had, like the money, financial problems that we had, the way we handled money, the way we used our money as a tool, just all around, just the way we were thinking about how we were coming up back then is totally 360 degrees to right now. And so the characteristic of the eagle mindset is to never ever pick up those dead things that are in the past, and the breaking of the generational curse. And I got to say it, Rick. I got to say it. I know people are gonna get angry with me, but it's the Mexicanos, it's the brown and proud. It's esos ways, esos ways. Those are the ones scared. They have the problem with going and digging stuff out of the past, like stuff that happened 15, 20 years ago, something that happened last year, something that happened 10 years ago. They always want to dig up the past. And so we have taught ourselves that, hey, whatever's in the past, it is dead, it's squashed. You can go back and resurrect it. You can resurrect some problems, some issues. Like if you go back to that mindset, that chicken mindset, that duck mindset, that parrot mindset, then you know what? You're just gonna get what you got. You know, going back to the past. And so we want to say that breaking that curse of digging up the past, we broke it. We broke it. Why? Because I also teach my eaglets, I also teach my kids and my grandbabies that you can't just be carrying around this AR-15 or this SKS ready to shoot it off, shooting ammunition at people, stuff for what they did back 10 years ago, 5 years ago, last year, 5 weeks ago, 5 days ago, yesterday. It's so juicy. They got it ready. They got it ready to shoot out their doggone bazooka. You know, they want to shoot off like a SKS. They want to shoot people up, man. And I always taught y'all kids that, you know, don't be shooting off rounds, man. Don't be popping off rounds. You know, if you got a gun that holds 16 bullets, those 16 bullets are there for a reason. Not to just be pop, 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 shooting them off at somebody. And so in our relationship too, son, there has been times where, okay, let's talk about this one. So this is where we're white folks. We white folks right here, man. Because we got all these dogs and stuff. Some don't like picking up poop. I don't like picking up poop. Like who does? Well, guess what? Over here in the suburbs.
Before you get to there, like it was getting to the point where like
Oh yeah.
he would go outside and he'll get mad because he was picking up some poop. He'd be like, "Man, I already done picked up poop twice this week." So I'm like, "I picked up poop yesterday." He's like, "You couldn't have." So it got to the point where I'm outside picking up poop and I'm recording myself. Like, "Hey, look, this how many times I picked up poop this week." So like that's how petty. Like that's how you know, like little arguments they try to come in.
Yeah.
But there's always a solution, and the solution.
Always a solution.
What was
man.
the solution?
Before we get to the solution, man, Dad, thanks for joining in. We love you too, Papa. Oh, Popo's on there. He said he loves us. And so the solution was to go ahead and invest in our puppies and dogs, and especially our yard outside. We got online. I found a pooper scooper. Now where I come from, Daddy made us pick up the poop. We were the pooper scoopers. Now we had to pick that stuff up, you know, and throw it away. But we came to a solution. We didn't get so pissed off we were fighting and cussing each other out like we've never ever. The solution was we hired a pooper scooper. They come once a week. They come pick up the whole yard, everything. Like,
spray it.
Spray it. Every negative problem, every negative circumstance has a solution. Whether it wants to be bothered with or not, the best thing to do, Rick, is to make that negative into a positive. Got to make the negative into a positive. And so along the way too, in order to keep a good, healthy mindset, I also like to speak health. Me and Mama got a health membership, you know, gym membership. I mean, over there at Planet Fitness. We hadn't been that great at it, but there was a time where we hit it up. Like, we hit it hard, and so we try to speak that health things over y'all. Watch what y'all eat. Because you need that mindset, that healthy mindset, that when problems arise, here it is. Ava, when problems arise, Alyssa, are you still there? Give me a 1, give me a hell yeah, give me something. Alyssa, you on there? Robert, he still ain't tapped in. Is he still working? Check it out, Dad. For every negative problem, Dad, there is a solution. And so when negative arises, what else arises? Anger. Like literally, me and son can be right here talking about some mornings I come down, I'm all giddy. I come down the stairs and the dishes ain't washed from last night. Like, I don't know why that bothers me, but it bothers me, man. No, just if I can just say this one too, because they already know. We have a key holder over there. If Daddy's got to go look for the keys when I need them here and there and everywhere, like that, it bothers me in the morning too. And so literally, guys, breaking generational curses. I remember there was a time, son, where I used to get up every morning and you had to get me till 1 o'clock to even say hello. Look, I done found out I can flap like an eagle and I can fly like an eagle. And so when I get up first thing in the morning, man, I just start declaring good things are going to happen to me. You know, that's why I tell you and your sister too, like in the morning, that is the first fresh time for the enemy to come in there and boom, dishes, boom, poop. Because the dogs got loose, the puppies got loose. Man, there'd be 15, 20 piles of little poop everywhere, peep everywhere. And I already have a routine. I come down, I drink my tea, I drink my coffee, I get my blueberry muffin, I get straight to work with the Lord. I go and do this on social media. Like, I got a routine. But when I first come down, bam, 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 man, my blood pressure shoots through the roof. And so breaking those curses of anger, man, like Everybody has anger. Like I told you that, right? Like I tell sister that too. Everybody has anger. It is the time, at the time that we get angry, what are we gonna do about it? You know, I always stress that out. And then when we get beyond anger, it's called wrath and rage. That's when holes start coming inside the walls, or saying something stupid, or some stuff like that. And so those things, like it's hard to learn how to control it.
Right.
For one.
Yeah, because it's funny now because like we argue over who picks up poop or the key or the dishes, but it wasn't always like that because when I was a teenager, like it got to the point where like I was just so far doing my own thing, like I was producing the grades I needed to do. I was working with you when I had to, so whenever it came time for me to do something, I was like, I felt like I could do it. And then, mind you, I already had a mindset that I was only 14, but I was really acting like I was 18 because that's just how like I was raised. Like, my chain was that far unleashed. Also, like I was able to do like certain stuff that teenagers really weren't allowed to do. So like it came to the point where I was like he just provided me a place to stay. Like I really don't you know what I mean? Like I'm doing everything he says. So whenever I want to go do something, why can't I do it? So like I would ask him, hey, can I go over here? Can you give me a ride? He'd be like, no. I'd be like, all right. So I'll take out walking, and he'd be like, where you at? I'd be like, oh, I'm over here at my friend's house. He's like, well, I told you to go. I was like, nah, you said you wouldn't give me a ride. You didn't say I can go. So like when I get home, I already knew we were about to argue, and then so like dealing with that, and then just like doing my own thing. Like I'll come home and I'll have to hear something else, and it got to the point where like literally one time like he was like, well, since you think you're grown, pack you one shirt, one short, like one of everything, and you can hit the road, Jack. So what I do, I'm like 15 years old. I start going in my closet. Like I bought this shirt, I bought this, I bought these shoes, I bought this, I bought that. So I'm leaving with like a suitcase, a trash bag full of stuff, and he's like, what are you doing? I was like, hey man, like you didn't buy none of this. Like I bought this. Like I'm about to take, what I bought. You know what I mean? I'm not just gonna leave it here. Like I'm about to go live on my own. So like it got to the point where like our anger and like we were so hot headed with each other that two alphas, going at it with each other, like it came to that, like where a father and son, like I was leaving the house when I was 15 years old. Like it should have never came to that. But like now we learn how to deal with it, and we don't even let it get to that part. We don't escalate the situation because we know what triggers each other.
Right.
So we're not gonna be pushing those buttons, like you said, throwing those low blows just because we know we can get them mad. But okay, I know this.
Right.
So like
shooting that ammo.
Yeah, like you always gotta be the bigger person, and I'm half his age, and I tell you, I have to be a bigger person more often than not. I tell you what.
He's telling the truth. He's speaking the truth. Yeah. He's actually learned, man. Cause check it out. And so it brings to my last point there of after you done speak life, after you done speak love, speak health and wealth, speak wisdom, speak truth. After all that speaking, son, after all that speak, I still have one more thing to learn. And it happened to me today with your sister. And it is, but most of all, out of all these 7 things that we discussed tonight, most of all, listen to your children. Listen to your children. And so something happened this morning that I was doing, I was working this morning on the computer. Everybody started getting up, coming in and everything. And your sister asked me a question. And then all I knew is that she was mad. Well, she had asked me about going to the store, but I didn't respond to her. So in actuality, I only heard her. Check this out, guys. I heard my daughter ask me to go to the store, but did I listen? No, I did not listen. Because if I would have listened, I would have seen her countenance on her face. I would have seen how she asked the question, I would have seen what type of mood she was in, all these things. And so just today, guys, son, just today, I learned to listen to y'all guys. Like really, literally listen, because when we were going through that deal with the in-laws a couple of days ago, if you would have just told me, I would have listened. Because what was going on, we was going back and forth shooting, like popping off on the phone and Facebook, and you do it with with people who you're angry with, and it's in front of me, and I tell you, hey, don't text no more, just let it go, let it blow over, and you're already naughty to nothing, all pissed off, and and it's hard when I tell you, you know what, just shut the phone off, don't do it no more. It's tough because you just want to keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, but only, because you told me, man, I should have just came down here and tell you that, because I heard you tell me. Just shut the phone off. Don't even text no more. Just let it blow over. I believe you would have came down and told me that. I would have listened. Because that was real talk. That was being 100. That was being civil. That was being an eagle, rising above the occasion. The storm that we was in, flying like an eagle above the storm and not stooping down to the chicken head. And so listening, and I tell you all the time, your kids are only, your daughter just turned 6 years old 2 days ago, a day ago. The rooster's coming up, and just constantly listening to them. You hear them all the time, like 24/7, but actually listening. Like, we had to actually listen to our parents when we was growing up. There was none of this, I'm going to listen to you, son. I'm going to listen to you, daughter. It's either my way or the highway. Come on now. That old way of thinking, it ruined me for a long time. But I learned some things off of you. Like, you are a bright and intelligent kid, 20-year-old. My daughter, she is magnificent too. She's marvelous. She's talented, and things that she tells me, because she's in the veterinarian life, that's her life, veterinarian. So she's over there dealing with dogs and stuff, and she comes and tells me some things about this, and now we got a lizard over there, and she's saying some stuff, just adding in where she's able to input herself, put herself in. And I learn from her all the time. I learn from Alize, your daughter too. Although I'm teaching her, we are teaching her how to read and write and all this stuff. Like, she's teaching me too. If she's not catching on to something, she's teaching me how to present it to her. That way she can get it. Breaking those generational curses, bro. Because daddy and mama, they unless I was in trouble running from daddy's belt, mama would listen to me. But my dad, on the other hand, well, he was daddy. He was the ruler of the house. He was the man in the house. He was the king of our kingdom, And so he was taught, like, hey, I'm gonna teach y'all. Y'all don't teach me nothing, And so it comes to that, bro. It comes to that, to even down to the mentality of the eagle, that the eagle actually makes it uncomfortable for the eaglet to get out there and do his own thing. And so just when you know, another characteristic of the eagle that we have taught to. Go ahead.
So I'm saying, like you said, my kids are young too. Alize just turned 6 and Rooster just turned 4. But one thing I can say, like, I've really learned from them, especially Rooster, is if you stay persistent, you'll get what you want. You know, like especially because you know, like
a salesman.
Yeah, like you know, like you go, like you're trying to sell something, you might get 100 no's before they tell you yes.
Yeah.
But Rooster, like he'll come and be like, Dad, can I have a Coke? Be like, no. Can I have a fruit snack? No. Can I have this? No. Can I have a cheese stick? Man, I guess. All right. So after about 5 or 6 times of him asking me for something else, I'm like, yeah, you can go get some grapes, or you can go get some strawberries or something like that. But like he stays persistent.
Yeah.
He's always coming back with something new. So like just because you get told no from one person once, don't be scared to come back.
Come on,
Because,
did y'all hear that,
You
man?
gotta stay persistent.
Write that down, Ava. Write it down. Here it is. Go ahead.
You made me lose my train of thought. I was about to say something else after that. Then, like I said, like having that ego mindset and mentality, like we've been blessed enough to where, like our kids, they don't really ask for much because everything they want, they pretty much got
They
or
got
they
it
get.
already.
You know, so when it comes time for like birthdays or Christmas, like we try to really teach them the real meaning, especially of Christmas, that it's not about presents. You know, that's
Right.
Jesus Christ's birthday.
Amen.
So, like this year for Alizé's birthday, I was like, man, I don't even know what to get her. You know, like she's 6. You know,
She got
so
everything.
She got everything that she wants. You know, like what do I get her? So I was thinking, I was like, you know, like one of our generational curses is wealth, and we like me and my dad, we're really learning on our own because we didn't have no inheritance, nothing got passed down to us. You know, like we were always pushed to the side. You know, so everything we're getting out, like y'all say, we're getting it out the mud.
Yeah.
You know, so
Fresh hot to press.
yeah. So I told him, I was like, man, I'm gonna buy her a vending machine.
Come on now.
Because like that's gonna she's gonna be so used to having her own vending machine business of going to a store and filling it up and how much it costs to fill up and how much she's making. And it's not really about making money, it's just instilling that business mindset in them at a young age, so it's normal.
Yes.
So by the time they're a teenager, they already have that mindset of like, I need to find a way that I can make myself some money. Like, yes, I need to finish high school, but I don't really need that. I don't need to go to college because I already been working on my business since I was 6 years old.
Come on, man.
So like, it's the mindset you gotta instill in your kids also. It's like you can learn a lot of things from your kids, but like you gotta. It's also up to you of where they're gonna go because like I made a post too. Like my parents, they polished their 2 diamonds that they had. Now like we're shining so bright that we're white folks now.
Come on, man.
We're up here, like
on,
we're not living high on a hog, but we got nice stuff, and it's motivation. And you had said something about earlier about like looking at yourself, like fixing yourself, and I say like I had to look at myself and a better version of yourself. And I told my dad like I've always had a winner's mindset, so I always try to better myself. I try to, like you said, better you. Like I'm in competition with myself. I'm not in competition with my dad, not the next person.
Come on, man.
Not somebody that's in the next state. Like it's always with me because I'm the only one that can hold myself back.
Yes.
You know, like somebody that's talking over there ain't got nothing to say but what they're gonna say. Like whatever they got to say, the little salt that they throw in your sauce is just seasoning it. So.
Yes, sir. What's up, Candy Girl? Candace. We love you too, Mama. Thanks for joining in, tapping in on our broadcast tonight, our podcast. But yes, man, they just throwing seasoning on our meat, man. Seasoning. They just seasoning us up. Whatever. Look, let me just say this. I always tell Rick this too, that hey, man, don't shun your haters off. Like keep your haters close, because one thing I know about haters. They're gonna tell you a truth about your character that you might need to fix. Come on, man. They're gonna tell you something that you might need to fix. It might piss you off, but just know if it made you that mad, go back home, reflect on it, and then say, hey, he just sharpened me up. She just sharpened me up. Whatever she told me, yeah, it literally pissed me off. But I'm gonna go ahead and take it as a positive. I'm gonna grow off of that. You can't push your haters to the side, man. You can't, get rid of them. You need them.
Right.
I always told you the negative that people put on you, like use that, put it in your gas tank, use it as fuel. Use your negative haters as fuel, because they can launch you. Haters can launch you into your future, and when you get there to the future, they still gonna be hating on you. And I have this one thing in my mind that I want to say. Oh man, it just went away. It's all right. It'll come back in a minute. But don't give up your haters, man. And one thing, let me just say this, and we're probably gonna close here in just a minute. But Rick, when growing y'all up and y'all going through school and you wanted to hit a certain grade, or I wanted you to hit a certain grade, just like another characteristic of the eagle mentality is that an eagle can spot his prey up to 5 kilometers, which is probably 3.5, almost 4 miles from where he's at. He can spot his prey 3.5 miles. And so when the eagle's up here and the prey is down here, and he takes off, like his eyes never leave his prey. He is stayed focused, laser focused, and especially if there's something going on around him, if there's other people hating on you, hey, stay focused, stay laser focused in on that thing that you're trying to reach. And so with the eagle mentality, we have taught y'all too that, hey, that generational wealth, and mind you, let me just say this, because he spoke about education. Education is real important. This guy wouldn't have got out of school early. Like, he didn't do the whole 12 years. He was out of there. Like, school was boring for him, okay? My daughter, she had the opportunity to get out a year early too. She graduated. She's out of there, all right? The thing is, you need that education, but you don't need it for your future. I told you, education, in my book, after you done graduated, you don't need it to make money. You don't need it to make money other than count your money, and whatever you did to make $10, repeat it 10 times to make $100. Whatever you did that 10 times, do it another 10 times, and now you got $200. It's a flipping game. I always taught these kids, it's a flipping game. Whatever you do. Hey, I did it growing up. I made real good money in the drug business, but let me tell you, you don't want to be in the drug business. You want to make that legit money. You want to make the legit money. Rise above all those. Because look, all around me when I was growing up, like I told you my story, there was a lot of drug heads. There was a lot of drug dealers. There was a lot of alcoholism. All these things going around. There was never a conversation at my dinner table about being a business owner. There was never talks about not just having one business, but have multiple businesses. And now at 43 and 23, we run multiple businesses. And people like to think that because people are running businesses, we're full of money. No, we're full of free time with quality time spent with family. We're here when we want to be here. We go on vacation when we want to go on vacation. We go to the football game whenever we want to go to the football game. We go to the zoo whenever we feel like it. If we want to stay in bed late that day, we stay in bed late that day. Let me tell you, man, generational wealth, we've already broke the curse on that wealth, because we are talking about businesses. We're running multiple businesses, and we're trying to get this podcast out there to say, hey, don't be spending all your money on Friday nights, because on Monday morning you'll wake up broke and wondering about the next check Friday or 2 Fridays from now, wondering what club we're gonna hit. No, we're thinking about where we're gonna put that money. Like we pay bills, all the bills are paid. Like literally, the dogs they play multiple months of mortgage. So that's one thing that I was not taught when I was young at 23. That I'm putting on these kids now. I'm teaching these kids like take care of these pups, put them out there, sell them, pay your mortgage, go buy you a car, go buy you a boat. Look, I always wanted to drive a Mercedes Benz. We driving a Mercedes Benz. It's all glory to God, man. It's all glory to God, Rick. It's mounting up on wings of eagles and soaring high, going to altitudes that other people don't want to do. Other son and father relationships. Take y'all's relationship above every storm. Go above and beyond to do for each other, help each other, work with each other, not for each other. It goes a long way if you just put both of y'all's minds together and say, hey, look, I know there's some people out there too that are tuned in right now, or maybe later on at a later time. Maybe you got that relationship with your son or with your daughter flipped upside down right now. And you done tried everything in the book. Let me tell you, you have not tried everything in the book. Get down on your knees, man. It comes to a time right now we have to fight for our relationship. I have to fight for my son because that's the only son I have. I have a grandson now, but I can't replace him. I can't replace my only daughter. Okay? And so if I was fighting with mines and they were somewhere else and they didn't want to answer my text or my call, like, look, I'm going to go ahead and text Daddy God. I'm going to call Daddy God by getting on my knees and I'm going to pray Malachi 3 all over our relationship where it says that God, you said in your word that you're returning the hearts of the fathers to the hearts of the children, Lord, and that you're going to turn the hearts of the children back to the hearts of the Father. I pray that in the name of Jesus, and I worship him until it comes to pass. Do not give up on your relationship with your son or your daughter. They need you. You need them. Somehow along the way, those gifts were granted to us to keep us going forward into our future. Our kids are our future. I tell my kid all the time, you're my future, man. Now you got my grandbabies and now they're your future, you know? And so, man, I think we went over all the material. Like, stay focused. Like, let's just do a recap on it if you want to. Like, number one, fly alone.
Yeah. I guess I got like a little off subject story, a little off subject. Talk about. It's still kind of with this, not maybe not.
Yeah. Go ahead.
But like he said, like through everything we've been through, like dealing with anger issues, breaking generational curses, like a lot of things can get in your way, like in your relationship. Like me and you, we got a real good relationship.
Yes.
Yes. And like you've seen in previous videos, like he was always there in school. Every football practice you were there, and like football is like a big thing in our family. Like every Sunday we're watching football. Cowboys win or lose. When they were losing for the past 25 years, we've been watching them every Sunday.
Yeah.
And like growing up as a little kid, like we were living in South Texas, like closer to Houston than to Dallas.
Right.
So like we were Cowboys fans, like born and raised. So I was always like, man, like I can't wait to go to a Cowboys game one day.
Yeah.
And like you just be like, man, as a kid, you never understand like why can't we go to a game? Because you don't think about, like, as a kid, you don't worry. Like if your parents were to tell you at 5 years old, I got $12 million in the bank, they wouldn't care.
Right.
If you told them you had $100,000 in the bank, they wouldn't care.
Right.
If you told them you had $500 in the bank, like they wouldn't care. They don't understand. They just like play with me, just like be with me. give me some candy, you know, like take me out, like do these things, like. So I was always like, man, I just want to go to a football game, you know. So like, just like years and years it went on, you know, like that's one of the things like we've always wanted to do, you know. And then like now, like we're in a position to where we live like 10 minutes away from the football stadium. Like we go to games, like it'll be random. We'll be like, hey, you want to go to the game today, this weekend, and we'll be there. Like, so like we came so far. Like we came from the same place that like some of the people that are watching. Like we have not always lived like this. Like we've had like big dreams all of our lives also. You know, and like you just can't give up on them just because like it don't go your way, or because you're arguing, or because like there's something hindering you. You gotta like be persistent. And if you look up persistent, it's like when some objects in your way, you figure it out. It's pretty much the definition of persistence. So like you just gotta stay persistent in life and what you want. And like the eagle, he can spot his prey. You gotta be able to spot what you want from like just like, you know, from a kid, you've always known how you wanted to live life. So you gotta like keep your eyes on that and like swoop in on that and really do that, because nobody's gonna hold you back but yourself. Like you gotta have you just gotta change your mentality, have that eagle mindset. And a lot of y'all are eagles. Like a lot of y'all are eagles. Y'all just been chilling with chickens too long. Y'all just forgot how to fly.
Right.
So you know, you just gotta get back on track and like, you know, like sit down, have a conversation with your dad, your mom, you know, and give them a hug, man. A hug can go a long way.
Come on now.
Like my mom tells me all the time, man, I love your hugs. They're the best. Like it's just, I'm not talking about like a little side hug. Like actually grab them and like hug them and let them feel the love, you know, because that's another one of the slides is you gotta like pour your love into like what you actually love, like your family. Like you gotta like, you know, you just gotta pour it in to like what you want in life, man.
That's right, man. Set yourself apart, Rick. Set yourself apart. Constantly setting yourself apart, man. Grabbing the best version of yourself. Candace, Ava, Alyssa, everybody that's out there, strive to be a better version of yourself. You heard it straight from 23 years of age up to 43 years of age. Constantly being persistent and being a better version of ourselves, a better version as parents, a better version as a husband or a wife, you know, father, son, you know, having that my dad would say cariñísimo, and you know that the love of a father and a son, you know, to stay good, like stay tight, mended together at all times. We should never ever let a negative situation break our relationship. And so we have constantly poured into setting our relationship apart. We don't want our relationship like any other relationship, because our relationship goes through enough already. And trying to be like somebody else is even a bigger burden for our relationship. And so, yeah, man, wonderful, man. Good night, man. Hour 34 minutes. Like, wow, we've been on there. And so, yeah, just, you know, set yourself apart, guys. Have the mentality of an eagle. Rise high, go to altitudes. That way you can change your attitude about different circumstances. Don't go and eat on the dead carcass like the eagle. He always has fresh kill. And so that actually means, look, go after things that are alive, things that are going to bring life to your relationship, to your finances, to your health, your mental status, your relationship with your wife, husband, whatever, your kids. Like have just leave it at that, you know. And two, also, whenever storms or arise, just know that when problems arise, negative problems, especially those that you want to knuckle up with somebody, like I almost did, I almost want to, just rise, just take that storm, use the winds, and let it launch you above everything. Because I guarantee you, when you get above the clouds, you were just in the plane just 2 weeks ago going to Colorado. When you were in the clouds, were you able to see to the ground? Not at all times, right? But when you're above the clouds, there's nothing but clouds below you. It look like fields of cotton, right? Like just bunched up together. And so that only means that you separate yourself from a different atmosphere. When you rise, get this, guys, when you rise above the clouds, you're in a totally different atmosphere. And so the atmosphere you're in is going to be positive. You're going to be up there gliding with the winds. You're going to be gliding. You ain't even going to have to use no energy. Because remember, in the storm, the eagle rises in the winds and goes above the clouds. And so he's gliding. There's no stress. There's no worry. There's no depression. There's no anxiety, no pain. None of this stuff, craziness going on in the head. He's just up there, just relaxed. And below him is the atmosphere of whatever took place, the negative circumstance, situations, a bad prognosis from the doctor. Have the mentality of an eagle. Go above and beyond, above and beyond. Have that vision like an eagle too. Dream. If you have dreams, remember they're your dreams. Stay focused in on your dreams. Whatever your dream is, don't let it go. It is yours there to live out. It is your dream to live out. Nobody can help you unless you want them to come in and help you with your dream. But guess what? If they leave, don't get upset. Why? Because it wasn't their dream. It is your dream. You go for your dream. Stay focused in on your dream. Whatever you want to do, go for it. Yeah.
So I guess we're coming to an end.
Yeah.
Before we go, I just want to say the reason why we're doing this too also is not to like brag and boast about what we're doing or how we're living.
Not at all.
It's to show y'all that we're just like y'all. Like we come from the same place. And like I'm a younger generation, he's an older generation, and you can come to either one of us if y'all have questions about like being a young parent, starting a business, running a business. If you have any types of questions, about life, or because we can relate to a lot of people also. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask us. Like that's what we're here for. We're here to give y'all advice and to tell y'all how we got through our situations that y'all might be going through also. It's just not about to talk about what we got going on. Right. We're actually here for y'all, like to show y'all, like we're trying to like lead y'all to the water so y'all can pedal y'all's canoe. So if y'all have a question about how to turn left or turn right, ask us, because the worst we can say is no. Yeah. We're not gonna turn you away or shun you because you're going through something. No, we're here to help y'all, inspire y'all, motivate y'all, and to just like show y'all what life could be, like what life's about,
how to get through those tough times.
And it's not all glitter and gleam all the time, like you said, like there'd be times where we'd be standing outside just talking and people see a father and son talking, but we're actually having a business meeting. Right. We have like 5 or 6 of those in a day. Yeah. So like, it's just, we're here to help y'all out, like anything we talk about, y'all want to talk about with us, like we're here. Like if y'all want to talk, we're here. That's what this podcast is for. It's not for money. It's not for likes. Right. For fame. It's not for none of that stuff. It's here to give y'all the recipe. Like we want to show y'all.
Yes.
Pretty much what.
Set yourself apart, man.
Show y'all how to set yourself apart.
There you go. Set yourself apart, man. Yes. Yes. Hey, man, we just want to appreciate y'all again. Thank y'all for tuning in. We were on here an hour and 40 minutes. That's like an hour past the last 2 episodes. A lot of good information. Hey, man, go back over it. Write some stuff down. Anything that hit y'all square in the heart, like that's a good nugget for y'all's future. Take it and run with it. Also, like it, comment it, please share it. Go to the YouTube, Big G's Ministries, like it, comment, subscribe, please. Let me tell you, you don't want to miss an episode. Every Friday night, Son and I are going to get on here and just have a good old time with y'all. So, yes, man. Set yourself apart. Set yourself apart, man. Help us get this podcast out there, man. We're just trying to reach as many as people as we can. We're gonna do this, like I said, every Friday. And so, hey, man, once again, thanks for tuning in. Ava, we love and miss you guys too, man. Like really, like we really miss y'all, man. I'm glad you hit me up on Instagram. You know, we're gonna stay connected. I love you. Candace, we love you, man. Dad, Mom, we love y'all. Lisa, we love y'all. Tell Robert what's up, man. Tell him to check out the podcast later on. All right, man. Till next week. God bless y'all. Peace out.